Did I lose Sergio?
Oh, you're good. You're live.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our April 2022 sales meeting. We have tons of info that we are sharing in the next 60 minutes, as well as some really great speakers. So I'm going to move right on to today's information. As always, since you're spending an hour with us today, we want you to get every ounce of value out of it. And the best way to do that is to make sure to take notes so that you walk away today with one or two things that you're going to add or bring to your business based on today's sales meeting. So make sure you have a pen and paper available, or even just your phone to take some notes. First, we wanted to welcome all of our new and returning real estate agents since the last meeting. So we want to welcome, oops, I'm going to just move this so I can read. Sean, Emily, Janine, Tim, Kathy, Kara, and Gary in our Melrose office. So welcome to all of our new agents. We are well on our way into the spring market. Our stats for March, we had 198 closings in New Hampshire, which shows we are off to a pretty decent start considering where the market is right now with a huge shortage of inventory. So just in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, we did $94 million in closings. We also did 75 closings in Florida, and that came out to $28 million in business for our Florida offices. We want to recognize our top agents across the board. First of all, we want to recognize our top 10 agents in Florida: Ed, Christopher, Joseph, Kathy, Jose. Also, Harriet, Elena, Kelly, Tanya, and Jean. Congratulations on a successful start to the spring market in Florida. We also want to acknowledge our top 5 agents and teams for our New Hampshire office. So we have the Ford Jean team, Marie White, the Fulford Group, Sabrina Stewart, Jessica Preventure. So these are agents that are located in our offices that are in New Hampshire. Also wanted to recognize our top 5 individuals by volume for Massachusetts. So we have Manny Nito from Weymouth, Sharon, Irene Bremis, Rosemary Galindo, and John Tekvorian. So congratulations on being top 5 individuals from March based on dollar volume. As well, we want to recognize our top 5 agents, individual agents for March based on units sold. So we want to congratulate Brenda Albert, Paul Brulette, Rosemary Galindo, Mike Durkin, and Manny Nito. Congratulations on a successful March. Next up, we want to also recognize our top 5 teams in Massachusetts. So Dan O'Connell and Associates, number 1, Silver Key Homes came in 2nd, Button & Co. 3rd, Rogers Mello team 4th, and then Rethink 39. Congratulations, Craig, on being a top 5 team based on volume for the month of March. And last, we have top 5 teams by units sold. We have Dan O'Connell and Associates, Silver Key Homes, Dashna and Robin team. Once again, Rethink 39, congrats to Craig, and then the results group. So congratulations on all of our top agents for March. As we've been seeing at several of our meetings, the market is tough right now. There's a shortage of inventory in virtually every market that we are doing business in. And even though we have lots of buyers that are interested in buying real estate, there's just not enough real estate, which creates bidding wars. On top of that, we're seeing shifts in the market already just based on the rising interest rates, rising costs of gas, etc. So it'll be an interesting spring, to say the least. Next up, we wanted to go through some updates in the offices. So first up, I wanted to introduce, yes, I see she's on here, Nicole Choate DeRosa. Many of you guys know her, at least in the Massachusetts market, because she has been doing closings in our market for more than a decade. So welcome, Nicole. Thank you for joining us today. Nicole is opening a brand new real estate closing firm, Coast to Coast Closings. It's going to be located in Tingsboro, Massachusetts, directly next to our LAER Tingsboro office. But don't worry, she covers all of Massachusetts and New Hampshire. So you'll see some additional offices opening throughout the year. Welcome, Nicole. We have you on. Whoop, you're muted. There you are.
There I am. Good morning. Do you want me to jump into?
Yeah, so Nicole's going to cover for us today the importance of making sure that the seller of your listing owns the property and making sure how to figure out exactly who owns your listing. So share with us your thoughts, Nicole.
So as Stacy had mentioned, this market is crazy. So the inventory is low. Going into a listing appointment and even going into with a buyer, I find that it's extremely important to know who the owner of the property is. One of the biggest reasons is you don't want to go into a listing appointment and say, oh, Mr. and Mrs., they're not married, one is deceased, something like that. So you can very easily get this information by going to the Registry of Deeds. You can get this information by the city or town. You can also call or email me. My cell phone and email is up on the screen. I can definitely walk you through, but the more prepared you are to go in, it helps you for your listing appointment for your buyers, but it will also help to put the offer together that comes to the purchase and sale in Massachusetts. New Hampshire, you go directly into purchase and sale. And then it will help us continue the process and go smooth from the title, getting the title over to the lender and all the way to the closing. So we have all of our necessary documents and hopefully help you move it along and get your listing and all of that.
All right, awesome stuff. And Nicole, as everybody could see, you'll see Nicole at many of our upcoming events, etc. She is our preferred closing partner for our Massachusetts and New Hampshire offices as well. We will be announcing grand opening of that office in Tingsboro. So you guys will all get a chance to meet her. Next up.
Hey, Stacy, there's a question. Yes. By Roberta. Does Coast to Coast Close Florida deals as well?
We're working on that. Yes.
Good question.
Absolutely.
Only in the winter up here.
Yeah.
When it's cold. I'm kidding.
Next up, we have Craig. Craig is going to share with us our sustainability update.
Hey, thanks, Stacy. There's a ton going on right now. As you know, I did get a decent sized draft out of our current LAER sustainability report to you and Sergio last night. I've been working literally morning, noon, and night to get that knocked off. So, and there's some really cool data in there. You know, we've been focused, Massachusetts and New Hampshire, for the last several years. Part of the sustainability report focuses on the green home market opportunity. So now that we've added Florida offices, I went to another registry which has a database for high performance homes across the nation. So I went to the Green Building Registry, Stacy, to find out what the Florida data is for green high performance homes in the state of Florida. Now, there's some issues going on in Florida right now. For instance, Governor DeSantis is evidently thinking about whether he's going to sign the new net metering policy, which would substantially slow down solar PV development, solar panel development for residential homeowners in the state, which is already slow to begin with, considering it's the sunshine state. That's a little bit ironic, but there you go. But interestingly enough, when I went to the Green Building Registry and asked my contact there to give us some data, She gave me data for New Hampshire, which is, has a certain number of HERS indexed homes and National Green Building Standard certified homes. Massachusetts ranks number 12th, as we all know. There's a lot of homes in this marketplace that have HERS scores, that are LEED certified, National Green Building Standard certified, passive house certified, so we've been number 12, and we increased, according to the GBR, we have an 11% increase in residential single family home data from last year to this. That's a little conservative with the other data that I have from Helix, but still 11% increase is pretty good. But this was the surprising part. Florida ranked number 2 on the Green Building Registry. At the end of 2020, there were 133, almost 134,000 homes that had HERS index scores, LEED for homes, National Green Building Standard certified homes. So a number of homes out there, and that increased to over 177,000 by the end of the year through 2021. So that's a 32.21% increase. So the long and short of this is, Stacy, that I think you need to get me to Florida so I can teach the green designation down there, because there's real market opportunity down there. Speaking of the green designation, I'm gonna try to share my screen here. So I'm gonna boot you guys. Let me see if I can go to a couple things, then I'll throw these in the links as well. Everybody's seeing my screen right now that says green. Yeah. So Greater Boston Association of Realtors has a great sustainability committee. There's a bunch of, this is kind of the soft sell of sustainability, but it's about community engagement, right? You can see that there's a whole bunch of GBAR opportunities to participate in community cleanup days. On top of that, some of our great agents that are green certified, like Kristen Keegan, Julie Oakes, Ann Silverman, have all been doing their own individual community engagement stuff through Earth Month. This month, April 22nd is Earth Day, as I'm sure probably most of you know. So that's an important part of this. You can engage your communities in completely different ways, which I'm so proud that our agents are jumping with that opportunity, not just GBAR. But the hardest stuff with sustainability, right? The important stuff is that for sellers with high performance homes or sellers that have put solar PV on their rooftop and maybe gone to Mass Save and done energy efficiency improvements, the most important thing is we want realtors that can value and market those homes appropriately. And that requires education. So the next opportunity for the most rigorous education is the green designation, the National Association of Realtors Green Designation. I'll be teaching that live. I'm so excited to be back in a live classroom again. I cannot tell you, April 27th and 28th. And yes, that is all day. And you will have a headache at the end of each day with the amount of information that is in this part of the market. It's not just about tree huggers. This is hardcore valuation and marketing of homes with high performance features. And the cool thing is, if you're a Massachusetts real estate agent, you also get 8 continuing education credits as well. On top of that, coming up in May, for those of you that are members of Northeast Association of Realtors, I'll be teaching the class called Selling the Sun, which is solar PV in the residential real estate transaction, May 24th. I'll throw these links in if Sergio already hasn't done so. And then just one other piece in terms of getting your green designation, why this is so important. I'm going to bring up some information about HERS rated homes in Massachusetts. You can see we have a ton of them. 87% of new construction starts were HERS rated in the year 2020. That's virtually 100% now. And probably more importantly, in terms of this opportunity, the state is now in the review process to create a specialized net zero energy stretch code that would be adopted by communities like the one I live in. Melrose will be a community that adopts this very quickly, which will be a very rigorous new building code. You need to know what a HERS rating is. You need to know what passive house is. As a certification, you need to know what the valuation of solar PV is on a home. You need to know what electrify everything. Electrified buildings actually look like. It's not your mother and father's electric baseboard heat anymore. There's new technologies called air source heat pumps, which I'm putting in my house in Melrose right now. So these are all reasons to get this designation, but most importantly, Stacy, we obviously don't want liability for you, and we want to make sure that we are serving our customers that are investing in these features in the best way that we possibly can, because they value differently. That's it for me.
And by the way, it's a cool way to build a niche in your business. I saw the Silver Key Homes team has an event coming up for basically for clients where they're bringing in people who have electric cars, not salespeople for electric cars, like regular people that have electric cars, and doing this little event where if people are interested in learning about electric cars, especially with the rising gas prices, they can learn about them just from consumers who are using them. So that's kind of a cool way just to connect with your client base.
Well, Silver Key Homes, as you know, has several green designated agents. And Massachusetts, by the way, we are the leader. LAER is the leader in the most green designated agents of any company. We are not the leader in New Hampshire and Florida yet, but that's what we're going to do in 2022, Stacy, is we're going to lead in those markets as well.
I love it. All right, let's see. All right, next up, I wanted to introduce Kirk Parent. I saw Kirk on here. Kirk is one of our agents in Andover, and I happen to be Facebook friends with him, and I've been following all kinds of interesting stuff that he does in testing water. Interestingly, I added this to a Mindful Monday probably about 6 months ago. This little article I found, many of us who have like tap water at our homes and drink our tap water, I think many of us assume that because it's town water that it must be tested and it must be safe. And I had found this article a while back that said, do not assume that the water that you are drinking is safe. Just because it meets certain levels for your town does not mean that your water is safe. And then I've been following our agent Kirk, who bought this cool little machine that tests water. So welcome, Kirk. Tell us a little bit about your background, why you started testing your water and what you found out.
Hey, Stacy. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, it's like, you're hard to hear.
Sergio was telling me to use my headphones or adjust my audio on the laptop, but I haven't been able to find that actual option on here. Is it still the same?
Yeah, so if you go next to the mute button, there's a little like caret that opens up a menu. And if you go to audio settings, make sure that automatically adjust microphone is clicked on, it's checked off, and that suppressed background noise is set to auto.
Okay, so I did just unclick automatically adjust microphone volume. I unclicked that.
All right, can you check it off again?
Yeah. Now I just added the check to it there.
Okay. Yes, still sounds scratchy. Can you uncheck it and then lower your input volume?
How's this?
The input volume on the slider, on the options that you see, you should see microphone and then test mic input level. Under that, there's an input volume slider that you can slide down.
On the audio subsection?
Correct.
For me, on my screen, it only shows automatically join audio by computer when joining a meeting. It says always mute, microphone, and then it says automatically adjust. There's only 3 options on my screen.
Sergio,
Okay.
can we have him just call in? We'll skip over.
Yeah. Can you join in? Can you click on the link that we sent you on your phone and then join in that way, and we can skip to the next person?
Yeah, no problem.
All right,
awesome.
Take it.
Okay.
All right, next up, while we're waiting for Kirk to come back, I wanted to introduce everybody to Rhode from Ernest. I sent out an email to everybody yesterday that we have a new way of collecting escrow deposits for our customers. So first of all, I want to start by saying you're still welcome to go about it the old way. If you like chasing down checks, if you like wrestling with the deposit link system, or you want to have your clients wire in money, which is expensive and also opens up you and the brokerage to liability because of what's happening with wire fraud. We're not taking away any of the old ways of collecting escrow deposits. We're just adding a new way that makes life so much easier for you. For the last year and a half, we did end up partnering at one point with Deposit Link, and just the feedback from our agents was that it was a little bit clunky to use, that you had to go in, you had to log in and then invite people into the platform. And it was not that user friendly. So we went out to see if there were other options for doing ACH withdrawals right from the client's account for escrow funds. By the way, this can be used for commissions as well. And we came across Earnest, which many of the largest title companies and real estate brokerages in the country use. So it is so easy to use that our demo should only take about 3 minutes. You can go to laerrealty.com/Earnest. And note there's 2 N's in that, EARNNEST, laerrealty.com/Earnest, where you'll see the portal. And that's basically where you would send customers to, or co-brokes. If you're telling your co-broke, hey, I have an easy way that your buyer can just put a deposit on the property, go to laerrealty.com/Earnest, and it'll walk them through it. With that, I'm going to welcome Brody from Earnest to tell us a little bit about the system.
Thank you so much, Stacy. Thank you all for having me. I should have permissions, but I'll go ahead and share my screen. Oh, maybe not. Did you want me to share, Stacy, or just give a little introduction? There it goes. Perfect. All right. So you should be able to see my screen. I am on your website here in that / again, and Earnest, EARNNEST. But Earnest is a fully digital solution for your clients for earnest money deposits. Instead of checks or wires, as Stacy mentioned, this is again a fully digital solution. So no more having to drive across town to deliver a check. This gives your buyers a digital solution that they may already be familiar with. It is similar to Venmo or PayPal, but for real estate transactions. So also have the option for commissions. So great landing page here, a little introduction and about our partnership for buyers and for clients here. So it's a simple link. So you'll direct your buyers here to this landing page. It does have a pricing fee. So that transaction tier right here is dependent on the earnest money amount or the commission amount for that fee. Commission will be paid by LAER. And for the escrow deposit, you'll just direct your clients here for Florida escrow deposit, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and then the commission payments here as well. So I'll just follow one of the links to show you just a quick example. So the buyers will click on the Florida escrow deposit link, and it will take them to the payment portal. So it logs them straight in, well, excuse me, that logs me straight in. I do apologize, since I'm already logged in and already a user, but first time users. So buyers will create a quick account by entering their email to grab a 6-digit code. Earnest, we're all about security and transparency. So instead of having to set up a password and risk fraud there, we use a secure 6-digit code for buyers to log in after entering their email to grab that code from their email and log into the payment portal here. So it introduces the platform after that landing page, introduces the steps that they'll be taking. So very easy and secure steps. They'll be entering the Florida escrow account details, confirming their identity, and then selecting the bank account they'd like to pay from. So again, fully digital. So once they've reviewed the steps here, they can go ahead and start. But before I do, I want to hop over and just show this question mark icon. This is on the buyer payment portal before they even log in as well. But this question icon will introduce our support team. So clients have the option to contact our support team. Make it very simple. They don't have to reach out to you for questions. They can email or call our support team right there. So I wanted to point that out, but they'll go ahead and start. First step here, they'll be entering the Florida escrow account details by entering the amount of the escrow deposit and then entering the details here. They'll be entering the property address, the city and zip code, the state abbreviation, buyer's first name, buyer last name, and then the LAER real estate agent name. So all this information will be collected from the buyer and will populate on a receipt. So with Earnest, we keep every party in the loop with a payment receipt. So when this buyer completes and authorizes the payment, they receive a paid receipt with these details on it. So very easy to track. And then once the funds settle, it is a 1 to 3 business day settlement time, so much faster than a paper check and more secure. There will be a second receipt generated that LAER will receive as well as the buyer. So keeping everyone in the loop. This is live, so I won't actually go through and enter these details and click continue, but we do have a payment guide for your buyers. So this is great to send to your clients. So how to complete your payment, it walks through the steps right here for the buyer. So again, just following that link to log into the payment portal so that you can see here in step 1, and it might be a little bit small, but we'll follow up with this. But creating an Earnest account, again, first time buyers, first and last name, email and phone number, that simple. We completed step 2 and 3, entering those payment details. So step 4 will be confirming the buyer's identity. This information is ran against public records to verify that the buyer is who they say they are. So we're asking for first and last name, last 4 digits of their social security number, their date of birth, and current residence. So it walks through that screenshot with details and confirming their identity before they continue on to step 5. So I'll scroll down here. So step 5 here is connecting and verifying the buyer's bank account. So again, fully digital. They are simply instantly verifying using Plaid, our payment processing system used by Venmo, PayPal, systems like that, to instantly verify the buyer's bank account, allowing them to log into their online banking. So you can see here in option 1, they'll select their bank. So Wells Fargo has been selected. They'll be logging in using their username and password. So again, a very familiar process to most buyers, very secure, and they'll be able to select the bank account they'd like to pay from. We are checking for sufficient funds and verifying that bank account. At that point, the buyer can continue and then authorize the payment. There are over 13,000 banks in the Plaid network for buyers to connect instantly. However, if their bank is not in the Plaid network, they do have the option here, option 2, to manually verify, in which they'll be entering their account and routing details. You do verify that bank using micro deposits, so that does add an additional 24 hours, 1 business day to receive those micro deposits and verify that account. At that point, they can then review and pay. It is that simple walking through. So again, details below. And then on this guide, we do have our support email and phone number here at the bottom as well. So once all that is complete, they'll receive that paid receipt. And then again, after the funds settle into LAER escrow account, you'll receive a deposit receipt as well. So very simple and easy to use. Our support team is here to help your clients. So you're welcome to direct any questions to our support team as well. And that is it. So any questions? I'm not sure if there were any in the chat, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
There are, Brody, some questions in the chat for both you and Stacy. I guess this one's really from Stacy. Sarah Lewis asks, is Deposit Link going away then? Or are they both running at the same time? Stace, what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are if anybody wants to use Deposit Link, we're not getting rid of Deposit Link. However, we're down to so few people using it because it was not super user friendly, but by all means, you can continue to use that if you like that platform.
And then Brody, does Earnest have a mobile app?
To answer that question, since that link is on LAER homepage, under that landing page, under the /Earnest, buyers can go and use it on their mobile device and go to your website. It works just fine on a mobile device. However, we do have a an app, a mobile app. It is our classic product. This is our pro that I've introduced. We do have plans to merge the two. So eventually there may be more of an app, but the buyers do not have to have an app downloaded. They are simply going to the LAER website to follow that link and complete their payment.
And Catherine wants to know, can you explain one more time who pays the fee? I mean, we're realtors, we hate paying the fees, you know.
Absolutely. So for the escrow deposits, it is the buyer. And again, that pricing tier is on the landing page. So cheaper than a wire and much more secure than a check. So that I believe it was $10. Typically, it'll fall in that $10 range for the buyer. And then the commission is LAER will cover that commission fee.
Excellent. And I think you covered this, but this is one of the great pluses for Earnest is how will the agents know that payment's been received?
So the way that we've set up the system is that when the buyer is putting in the information, we created certain required fields. The required fields that they have to put in are what is the property address, the street, city, state, and we also ask the LAER real estate agent's name. And that is because all of the requests are coming into Happy Agent. And just like we do now, when a deposit comes in, we send a notification to the agent. Same thing will happen here. Once we see that a deposit has come in on a particular property for a particular agent, that agent will receive a notification from our bookkeeping team that that has come in.
So, and Julie says, is that the buyer's agent that gets that notification as well? How are they involved in, you know, their clients'
I don't know if the buyer,
awareness?
I don't know that, I believe, Brody, you can answer this, but I think it's just the seller, or I mean, sorry, the buyer. The buyer receives the receipt and we receive the receipt.
Right.
I don't believe it's collecting information as to who the other agent is. So it would be the responsibility, either we could tell them, say, hey, that this deposit has been received, but we're not tracking who the buyer agent is. We tried to make it so there was as little required information as possible, only because one of the things that freaks people out about like deposit link was that there was so much information. Then people start questioning what's happening to the information. We tried to pare it down to the absolute essentials. So the receipt that goes out is going directly to the client, the buyer. Once they fill it out, they will receive a receipt, as well as the receiver of the funds. We will also receive a receipt, and then we will know which property it is and which agent it is. On our end, we'll notify you. So either the buyer or our real estate agent would have to notify the buyer agent that it was received.
And then there's one last question from Julie. I think she just got her real estate license in Rhode Island. She's asking, is this available in Rhode Island as well?
Yes, so I will update right now, I have to verify, right now, because we do so little business in Rhode Island, we are using the same escrow account as Massachusetts, and which we may be allowed to do depending on whether there's an enterprise bank in Rhode Island, and I don't know the answer to that. So the answer is yes, we will make sure it's set up for Rhode Island. Either it will be part of our regular escrow account. We'll do some back end research on it. If we have to set up a separate escrow account for Rhode Island, then we'll just set up another link on the site. So the answer is yes.
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Brody.
Absolutely. Thank you all for having me.
Yep.
Bye now.
All right, let's go back to our screen. Sergio, is Kirk all set now? I can't. You there, Kirk? I can't hear you or Sergio.
All right, it looks like he's connecting via his phone.
Okay. Oh, wait 1 second, see if we can get
Yeah.
Kirk on.
Make sure that you're switched over on Zoom. I don't see you as being connected to audio on Zoom on my end.
While he works on that, I wanted to let you guys know I had shared on social media last week, we put together a really cool letter, an open letter to home sellers seeking a great real estate agent. And the letter got lots of traction. It was shared hundreds of times by real estate agents and clients and interestingly, real estate agents from all different brokerages. So we did go out and we've been putting full page ads of this into all different print media throughout the area. So you may end up picking up a local newspaper. We typically put them in the Sunday real estate section, just as a cool way to continue our brand exposure. You on yet, Kirk? All right, I'll let you guys keep working that out. Also, as a reminder, we brought up last month, make sure that you download the most recent copy of our LAER program and services guide. You can get that at laerrealty.com/success tools. The new version is a black version, just like the cover you see here. And in the bottom corner, it says January 2022. So if you're using like an older version, the blue ones, that's from last year. We've updated a bunch of the tools in the most recent version of the guide. Also, as a reminder, our team went about reorganizing all of our tools and services in one place. So if you're looking to find anything that is a tool that LAER has, whether it's a marketing piece, anything, the easy way to find everything now is at www.laeragentservices.com. All this is a dashboard where we have organized all of our services under one dashboard to make it as simple as possible for you to navigate the tools, trainings, programs at LAER. So make sure to visit laeragentservices.com. Next up, as a reminder, I want to make sure everybody noticed this all came out of our LAER Leadership Council. So once a month, we have a LAER Leadership Council that meets up, and a couple things that they had asked for at that Leadership Council is that the Roar Report printable newsletter that goes out once a month. This is a newsletter that is meant for you to be able to customize for your clients. We've been doing the Roar Report for 3 years. And the reason we've been doing it for so long is because so many agents use it as part of their regular marketing portfolio. A couple of requests that came out were, number one, we had agents that asked if it could come out earlier in the month, only so that they had more time to start preparing it and getting it ready. Many agents have this professionally printed. So we started releasing it earlier in the previous month. So for example, the April version of the Roar Report was put out somewhere around March 15th. So it's coming out earlier every month. We send it out to you via the LAER Career Den. You'll receive a notification from the Career Den letting you know that the Roar Report is out. When we send it out, it has always been a Word document so that you could go in and just customize the Word document, print it, and mail it to customers. Many agents asked if there was a way to put it into Canva, because Canva is easier to use for changing out some of the articles or changing out the pictures. So now what you'll see is that every month we provide the Roar Report to you, not only in that Word document, but also as a Canva file so that you can go in and change it up. By the way, if you don't want to do the customization, feel free to just email happyagent@laerrealty.com and our team will handle the customization for you. Just email Happy Agent when the Roar Report comes out, tell them what you need changed. Our team will go in and make the changes and then send you back a customized version that is print ready. Next up, I just wanted to remind everybody that if you are looking for social media pieces about the market, so let's say that you want to give just a little market update for your town or for a county, our team can do that for you. So all you have to do is go to LAER link, so laer.link, LAER.link /market update. Let's say, for example, you want to have just a little image that you can share that will talk about what's happening in West Palm Beach, or you want an image that talks about what's happening in the market in Drake, Massachusetts. Just go to laer.link /market update. It takes about 24 hours for our team to research the information and then create a marketing piece. And they'll create a marketing image customized to you, just talking about how many new listings there are, active listings, closed transactions, average days on market, just a cool piece that you can share to social media. So again, laer.link /market update. And all you have to do is put in your name, what town you're looking for, and wait 24 hours. Our team will create that piece and get it back to you. Is Kirk up?
Yep.
Oh. Nope.
Yep. Kirk, did you connect to audio on your phone? He's on his phone now.
Is there a phone number that you can call in?
Yeah, he tried that, and now I'm having him just connect directly through his phone. One sec.
I'm kind of dying to hear what this water quality device is and how it works. So I hope we can
It's
get
worth
them
the
on.
wait. It's worth the wait because I get to watch his Facebook. I'm like, holy cow, because what's very interesting about it, like he was testing his, it's like this little gadget that he bought from Home Depot. It's not expensive.
Yeah.
And it tests your water. And so he was testing like his tap water, which then you could see how dangerous the tap water is. But then he was also testing like bottled water that you buy. And some of the bottled water out there is as bad. It's not safe. So that's why I was like, Kirk, I got to have you on our program to talk about what this little machine is and why people should invest in one and just check out your tap water.
Yeah, well, and then well water too, you know.
Oh, 100%. It's so scary. Let's see, while he's working on that, if you're interested in joining a committee, all of our... Is that Kirk?
Yeah, that was his laptop.
Oh. All of our committees are in full swing right now. And the good news is that means that Kirk's audio is working.
Yeah, it's working, but it's distorting. Okay, Kirk.
So now it's freaking out, I think.
Yeah.
Is Kirk on Mars?
I know.
Kirk, I want you on a sustainability committee meeting because this is perfect for us once we get your audio figured out.
Oh, Kirk should definitely be.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wait a couple more minutes while I go through the rest. Hopefully we can get Kirk on today. If not, we'll have him come on to one of our next meetings. Kirk has an interesting story because he battled cancer as well. And as you can see, he's pretty young. So that's why he pays very close attention to the stuff he eats and the stuff he drinks. And it has to do with what he's been through in his personal health. So all of our committees are in full swing. We have tech, growth, safety, culture, sustainability. If you want to have a voice in any of the things happening at LAER, join a committee, because I always tell people all the good things that we have at this brokerage are a byproduct of these committees that meet and come up with the ideas, the technology, all the stuff that we have is a byproduct of agents that come together regularly and help set our company in a particular direction. Make sure to check out the training for the month of April. You can go to our training calendar at laerrealty.com/training. As a reminder, when you look at our training calendar, scroll to the very bottom. This is a live calendar, so you can click on anything you want to participate in, sign up right from the calendar. But also, I encourage agents to scroll to the bottom of that page where you can download a link. There's a link, whether you have a iPhone or Android, that you can make it so that our training calendar is synced with your personal calendar. That way, when you look at your calendar each day, you never miss a training program because you get to see an overlay of what's happening at LAER. Just makes it much more difficult for you to miss a class that you might want to check out.
There was a comment by Renee Tompkins in the chat, Stacy, that we need a wellness committee. I will say that that is partly what we're dealing with in the sustainability committee. Wellness is a big part of high performance homes. The air we breathe is as important as the food we eat and the water we drink. So all of that is kind of covered, but that's an interesting idea, Stacy, I think.
100%. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Is there any, can you hear me?
Oh my God,
Yes.
Kirk.
Oh, I know.
Right.
It's amazing now, huh? Wow. Unreal.
right.
Okay.
Well, it was worth the wait. So if you don't mind, tell everybody just a little bit about your background and why you started testing water and what you've learned.
Sure. Thanks, Stacy. So basically I'm a licensed general contractor, unrestricted construction supervisor license. I've got my mod risk deletting option. I'm also a licensed real estate agent, as you would know. So basically back in 2016, 15, 16, and 17, I was really, really busy. I had 8 employees full time. I was only 24 years old. I was running a full-fledged general contracting business. Basically throughout 2017, this is a long story, but I'll just keep it based on the water anyways. But 2017, I started to get cramps in my neck, and I had a customer that kind of warned me that something of the sort was going to happen. And it's a different story, but in 2018, I was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, a bone tumor in my spinal cord. And basically the surgeon told me that if I didn't come in to get the MRI and the surgery when I did, they said within 4 days time, my neck would have basically broke and I would have been left a lifeless quadriplegic from the tumor breaking my neck. It would have broke my neck at the C2, C3, and C4, I think. So I did radiation on those spots basically. And, I did radiation and chemotherapy for a while with cancer. And I think that the radiation kind of messed up my pineal gland in the back of my head, because I literally sleep every other day now. I don't sleep every night. I sleep every other night. It's weird, but I have plenty of time to do research like this and figure out kind of why I had cancer and how I had it, and maybe what I can try to do to avoid it. And basically that busy year, 2017, I wasn't very well fed. I was going around eating fast food all the time. I wasn't sleeping appropriately, like I still probably aren't. I'm not, but basically throughout my time where I'm sitting up alone, every night or every other night, in the hospital at Tufts Medical Center and stuff like that, I've just been searching. It's been 4 years. I've been in remission now, cancer free. But it just made you think, like, how did a 25-year-old kid get cancer? And I think one is cortisol. It's stress. It's not managing my stress appropriately. It's things like that, and fast food, not sleeping right. And I'm starting to become, under the impression that water also had a large part of this entire fiesta here. I had cancer, and basically I have a holistic teacher. He owns a gym in Drake. I can share that with you also if you'd like, but he basically instructed me that it's best for me and everybody else for that matter to drink and cook with water that is, basically it comes out of a distiller. And a distiller, basically you're drinking the steam. The steam, it boils and creates steam, and the steam gets cooled down. And what's left in the steam is literally nothing but H2O. It's just the molecule H2O. There's nothing else in it, period, nothing. Even the greatest filters, there's reverse osmosis and ultraviolet lights and stuff that they use to in attempt to really filter out all potential carcinogens and any other bacteria and stuff like that. But even reverse osmosis does not do it to its fullest ability. I can share this album on my own personal Facebook. I did a lot of stuff with what's called a TDS meter. It's a totally dissolved solids meter. You can buy them on Amazon. They'll get shipped right to your door. I spent probably $15 and I got mine. And I'm going to upgrade it actually to something that costs about $65, and it'll actually tell me what element is in the water, if there is anything in the water. It's a little more expensive, but I think it's worth it. So basically with my TDS meter, I took tap water, and out of my tap water, it was 200 parts per million. It's labeled as ppm, parts per million. And the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, recommends that we're not supposed to drink or cook with or eat, anything that was cooked in, or, you're not supposed to drink anything with 500 parts per million or more in your water. The Department of Agriculture actually recommends that we distill our water before we drink it and before we cook it, because that is the only guaranteed way that we don't have anything in our water supply while we're, and if you think about it down to a molecular level, water goes through every single joint we have, which is a reason for arthritis pains and everything else. It goes through your lungs, every little blood vessel, everything and everywhere, every little molecular square millimeter. Basically, I said that 4 or 5 times just to give you an idea. Water goes through your whole body, and totally dissolved solids. Those are things that get stuck in your kidneys, which cause kidney stones, liver stones, basically a backup for your lymphatic system. And your kidneys and your liver purge out toxins. And when your kidneys and your liver aren't functioning right, because they're filled with so many totally dissolved solids from your meals, your water supply, H2O is supposed to be the only thing that we drink, and it actually contains a negative charge to it. Everything else that goes into our body holds a positive charge, including anything that we don't want and probably things that we do want, but your body requires something of the sort like distilled water, because if you drink it for a good 2 weeks straight, you'll see what I've seen. And, you could pee into a cup if you want to test it. On week 2 or 3, it'll start to kind of burn, and you'll think that you have some type of UTI. It isn't a UTI. You're peeing out hundreds of little proteins, white little kidney stones. And there's evidence of it. You can do this test yourself. They'll be floating around in a clear plastic cup if you pee in it. That gets your kidneys functioning properly, your liver functioning properly. and everything else. So basically with my water test that I did, I took tap water that was 200 parts per million. And what happens, what chemistry teaches us, when things freeze, all the molecules will slow down. And eventually when they freeze, when they're totally frozen, they stop completely. The exact opposite happens when we boil our water. When we boil and heat our water, let's say, even if you go up to a Dunkin' Donuts that has 200 parts per million out of their tap water, when they put that into a coffee dispenser and it heats up, the parts per million, when it heats up, because, you know, of just what chemistry teaches us, everything basically divides, and your parts per million, for example, if it's 200 parts per million with your tap water, you boil it. I brought it to the stove, I boiled it. It gradually increases the parts per million, but by the time it's at a full boil, it's 700 parts per million, which is 200 parts per million higher than what the EPA says. Don't drink this if it hits 500 parts per million, or don't cook with it if it hits 500 parts per million. It's 200 parts per million higher if you're using it to drink, you know, you're using it with your tap water. And that doesn't matter. I mean, there's so many people that'll tell me like, oh, you know, I'm safe, I have well water. That's not the case, because my little brother-in-law, Elijah, he's 11 years old. He's finishing up his chemo treatments, his radiation. I had to find out why. I'm like, how the heck can a 11-year-old boy get cancer? So what I did was I went up to his house in Maine, and, you know, they live up in Maine, upwards to, I think it's Etna, Maine. They have a well water. They have a well, sorry. And basically I took my little distiller that I bought from Amazon. They sell these things on Amazon, and they drip actually into a plastic container that I don't believe the plastic container is BPA free. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it's basically like a form of formaldehyde if it doesn't say BPA free. But anyway, I have that drip into an aluminum bowl now. But basically what I did was I went up to Maine, and I put his water supply, which they cook with every day and they drink with every day. Every day. They're drinking it, they're cooking with it, unaware completely. So I went there with my distiller, put the water, I put about 1 gallon into my distiller. I let it run its cycle. It took about 3.5 hours for 1 gallon. I know it's ridiculous and it's a lot of work, but it's truly what we should be doing. The bottom of the distiller, basically, it didn't look like it looks like where I have my water. Like in Andover, we get water from a pond. So when the bottom of my distiller with my tap water, it looks like brown water. Like I wiped the bottom of it and it's literally brown. And but the thing with their water in Maine, it was powder. It was white powder. So I was like, wow, that is definitely the most healthy thing that you can be drinking. I got, you know, I had test strips with me, and I did my own test, and they had very high levels of nitrates in their water, which causes cancer. They had nitrites, which when you boil nitrates, they turn into nitrites, and both are not good. But I guess if you have higher levels of nitrites, you're going to get cancer. They had high levels of ammonia, literally like someone was going to the well and throwing household clean ammonia into it. They had chlorine. So what happens if you took chlorine and if you took bleach and ammonia out from under your kitchen sink and you mixed it all around on the floor, I can guarantee you within probably 10 minutes, if not less, you and your whole family and all your pets will be on the floor with some type of, you know, like you're going to pass out from the fumes. So imagine doing that to your body every single day. I finally convinced the mother, like, look, you have to distill water. You can buy distilled water. It has a red cap at Market Basket in Hannaford. You just got to make sure it says fluoride. he had also high levels of copper from the pipes, from his own house pipes. And copper basically blocks and it builds up inside. It's like this, it's the same thing that's made out of the Statue of Liberty. If you get metals inside your body, similar to the Statue of Liberty, it's copper. It starts off brown and then it starts eroding inside your body. It gets stuck there. And then it turns to a soft light green color. And, you know, I can imagine if that goes through my entire body to a very small molecular level and it gets stuck anywhere, that little piece of copper is going to turn into something that I don't want it to in my body. And truly, the only thing that can kind of help that get out is to drink distilled water. And also what I learned was they sell citric acid to clean the distillers. So I figured, citric acid, that's from lemons. That's lemon juice. That's how they clean the distiller. You can't clean the distiller, the bottom of it, with a sponge and soap. You cannot. It won't clean. It won't scrub off. But citric acid, it boils it right away. It makes it disappear, no problem. So that's why they say drinking lemon water with distilled water through a straw, because it could damage your teeth. It actually helps get rid of toxins out of your kidneys and your liver and everywhere else. I went to the gym, Planet Fitness, over here in Andover. It's right down. It's right across the street here, so it's an easy gym for me to attend. I did take a sample from there, and the bubbler looks phenomenal. It looks great. It looks like it's filtered. It looks, wow, I'll drink from that, no problem. I'm safe. I took that water, and it's the same thing as the tap water at the house. It's 200. It's actually a little less because the machine must have a filter on it, but it's basically 200 parts per million.
And Kirk,
yes.
I also saw on the only reason it's interesting because I follow your Facebook posts. I think it's so interesting watching, but one of the tests you did was on bottled water and it was disgusting. Yes. I'm like, holy cow, people are I buy this water thinking that it's better and it's as bad. So
bottled water most definitely is better for you than drinking tap water, because God only knows what's in tap water. And I would recommend drinking bottled water and boiling with bottled water all day opposed to your tap water, seriously. But I still would say, yeah, you're right, 100%. Poland Spring, for example, is 38 parts per million. And my totally dissolved solids meter, at least it glows green when I do store-bought Dasani or something of the sort, Poland Spring. I mean, Whole Foods even sell a big bottle. It's probably a 1 liter bottle of a Whole Foods bottled water that glows red, and it says 90 parts per million. It glows red. It says don't drink it. So basically, with the plastic, the bottles, we're hearing more and more on the news that we have microplastics inside our blood. If you go to the doctor and get your blood taken and they search for microplastics, there's a high chance that they're going to find it. And you don't want plastic floating around in your blood. We don't want plastic floating around in our oceans or our rivers or our lakes or our streams. Why would we want it in our body? So the best thing is to go to even Walmart, and I get these BPA-free, American-made 5-gallon and 3-gallon jugs. I take my water. I take my jugs. I have 8 cup a day aluminum carriers for my personal water and my wife. With aluminum distilled, there's a lot to learn about distilled water, but you have to keep the cap on because it can literally break down the aluminum on the inside of the can and not be good for you. So you just got to keep the oxygen out of the can as often as you can. It's not something that you're not going to die, but I mean, it's something that it's recommended to keep a cover on it. basically, so I get my water from a reverse osmosis fill station that's usually at Hannaford's Market. And if you look at the machine, it's filtered by reverse osmosis and many other things, carbon filter, reverse osmosis. It even has a special UV light that kills bacteria. I get my water from there. I fill it up with my American-made water jugs, and I bring that home, and I go the extra mile, and I distill that. So that water registers as 2 parts per million, anywhere from 2 to 5 parts per million is that water that I get there. It's the cleanest water that you can get, other than already pre-distilled water that you can buy at Market Basket with a red cap on it, without fluoride. Fluoride's terrible for you. It causes skeletal fluorosis. I don't brush my teeth with fluoride no more. Because it goes in through underneath your tongue and it absorbs into your blood. It's not good, regardless of what they say. It's not good. So this water that I get from Hannaford's, it's the cleanest water you can buy, other than that pre-distilled water that I was telling you about. But I take that reverse osmosis filtered water, and I come home and I distill that water. My distiller distills 1 gallon at a time. I won't let it burn all the way to the bottom until I'm done using it. So I'll stop the machine, I'll unplug it, I'll wear my oven mitts because it does create steam and it can burn you. So I'll wear oven mitts, I'll take the cover off, I'll blow at it, I'll go, so it'll get rid of the steam and it won't burn my skin. And then I continue adding more water as there's still some boiling water in my distiller. I did this with 5 gallons of the reverse osmosis filtered water. And it took 5 gallons instead of only 1 with the regular tap water. But 5 gallons literally looks similar to the tap water at the bottom. Like I wiped it and it literally looks like I stuck my hand inside of a mucky pond. And I had a white glove on and I shoved my hand into the mucky pond and gave it a little rinse. It's not so dirty, but I mean, it's gross. It's nasty. I can't say it's not dirty. It's disgusting. I wouldn't want that in my body. And ever since I've caught on to it, it's never going to go into my body again. I brush my teeth with distilled water now because of the nastiness that I've seen because of my distiller.
All right. First of all, you kept 50 plus people very interested for the last 20 minutes. Now I feel like we have to have a class on distilling water. So I'm gonna work on a program on distilling water. We are past our time. Can you just remind people what the name of that little tool you have in order to test water?
Yes, it's called a totally dissolved solids meter. It's TDS, and it comes in a package, and the package will tell you the closer to 0, the healthier it is. This distilled water is the only way we can get 0 water. Okay. Regardless of anything, my tap water, I have a filter on it, a 0 water filter, and it doesn't work the way that it says. It's still just as dirty as what it was before I put the filter on.
Gotcha. All right. I think it'd be cool to do a class because you gave tons of information. It'd be cool to put together a class, and I'll work with you on it, where we can kind of direct people, give people steps to take in order to better protect their loved ones. It's scary.
Oh yes, no doubt about it. And again, boiling it is worse than drinking it.
Interesting. All right, awesome stuff. Thank you for joining us today, Kirk.
You got it. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Last thing, I just want to remind everybody, we're going to send out an email to everybody, but we had our Florida Roar Awards last month, end of the month, March 28th. And now we are planning our Mass New Hampshire Roar Awards. So save the date, May 25th. You can go register now if you want at laerrealty.com/Roar Awards. We're doing a Spirit of Boston cruise. And it is a 2-hour boat cruise that leaves at noon. You can start boarding at 11 o'clock. and dancing, food, drinks. It's going to be a fun time. So I hope to see everybody there. And with that, I want to thank everybody for joining us for today's meeting. Have a great day.